Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Get Crafty Photographers! Welcome to another episode of Get Crafty Photographers! This is a channel for hacks, tips, techniques that will change the way you shoot forever, change the way you process images forever, and just make your life easier as a photographer. Today I'm going to share five easy hacks. Well, actually, they're not hacks. 5 easy shortcuts you can do to save yourself lots of time in Lightroom, which is the program used by most professional photographers because it's the most versatile program for editing images on the market. Like all of you, I'd rather be out shooting rather than spending time on the computer. So after 11 years as a professional photographer, clicking this shutter an average of about 150,000 times a year. Yeah, you heard that number right. You can imagine that I end up with a lot of images to process on my computer. So I have come up with all kinds of shortcuts just to make my life easier, and now I'm going to make your life easier. My workflow process is I select my images, then I bring them into Lightroom, and I apply on import a preset called All-in-One Presets by Pretty Preset. Shout out to Pretty Preset, $29 for their workflow preset set. And I've modified mine so that it's a little bit more customized to my taste and style. So all of my images get this before I even get started, and they're done in the import mode. So shortcut one, we're number one. The first hack, well, it's actually maybe just more of a shortcut. I keep calling it a hack when it's a shortcut. Shortcut one, color balance with one click. Now I shoot weddings, which means the light changes frequently, and that means that I usually just rely on auto white balance when I'm out in the field, and I fix it when I'm in Lightroom. And I have one easy, quick and dirty way to fix them. I'm going to show you right now. So we've got our image. It's got a little bit of an orange color cast, right? I go around table to table when I'm at weddings. This is just one of them. And there are a few ways that you can correct the white balance, but the quickest and the dirtiest is Shift Control U. Oh, wow, that was fast. One click. Shift Control U, folks. Now, I'm going to show you another way. If you didn't quite get it right, because usually that works about 70% of the time, sometimes not always, I will look for something neutral or pure white in this scene. I will click on it, and you can try to get the color balance with this little eyedropper tool here. And you can see that it's got a white and a black section to it. And I like it set on the white. Now it added a little bit too much orange to this image. I'm going to come around, I'm going to try to sync around with it a little bit. And you can just play around and it's to taste. Now, if on the 2% of images that these two quick and dirty things don't work, then I just simply move the little slider thingies until I get it the way I want it. But generally, I don't want to move the sliders. I just want to do this quick and dirty. Shortcut 2. The number of letters. Shortcut number 2, use the shortcut keys. Did you know that Adobe has made all kinds of quick keys and shortcut keys to make your life a lot easier and faster so that you can put your hands on the keyboard and not have to use your mouse so much? Because if you think about it, your mouse or your pen tablet, whatever it is, are using your hand, and it creates a little bit of repetitive stress. And that repetitive stress could screw you up with your shooting trigger finger. So it's better to use the keyboard as much as possible. That's why I've invested the time and effort to memorize as many of the quick keys as I possibly can, and I've memorized them with the tools I usually use in Lightroom. I've put all of the quick keys that you need over on getcraftyphotographers.com, so go on over there and check it out. Links over here. Now, a couple of the shortcut keys I like are, if you select the comma key or the period key, you will all of a sudden move through the sliders. You see how now we're in shadows, now we're in white clipping, now we're in black clipping, and if you click comma, you go back up, modify shadows, modify highlights, modify contrast, modify exposure. Period goes down, comma goes up, and then I can simply use my plus or minus key to increase or decrease the tint. So that's another way you can play with the sliders. And let's say I'm going to click period, I'm going to go down, move my exposure, and I'm going to click plus. Ooh, just made it brighter. And there we go, just made it darker. Really easy and simple. Another thing you can try is Control U, which is auto tone or auto exposure. Now, as my former photography teacher, Mitch Stringer, used to say, it will only ruin the best shot of your life, but thank goodness this is lossless. You are just going to have to play around with the dials a little bit if it doesn't work quite right. So Control U, woo, that brightened it a little too much. I like mine a little darker, and it also like highlighted the whites a little bit much. Doesn't always work, but it's a fun one to try sometimes if you're really stuck. Now, if you do a lot of editing, if you're like me and you're shooting 150,000 clicks of the shutter every year, then you may want to go out and invest in a product called Motiboto. I've put some information on Get Crafty Photographers about it, but basically it's a keyboard skin, and you put it over your keyboard, and it will even allow you to create shortcut quick keys for your presets. That's right, your presets will actually even have this. So pretty cool. Shortcut number three. Rule of thirds. 3. Shortcut number 3. I just want to show you a quick and dirty way to apply a preset to a whole bunch of things in library mode. So we're going to go and I'm going to reset this so that it's reset. There we go. And let's say that I've got about 25 images that I want to do the same thing to. It's syncing in the develop module, just won't work. So I'm going to come over here and I am going to be in library mode, and I'm going to look up my presets. As you can see, I own a lot of presets, and I am going to click whatever, let's make creamy highlights. And so I have just done creamy highlights on all of the images that I have selected. Just like that, one real quick way to add presets to your images. And I gotta tell you, when I learned this, that was a complete game changer as well for me, because it meant that I could just apply a preset to a whole bunch of different things all at once. And just another little shortcut key to notice is that if you go G to D, G to D, G to D, those are your keys to move between the library and the develop module. That's right, folks, the library and develop module, G to D. That's all you gotta do. Shortcut number 4, and you're really gonna hug me for this one, batch cropping. What? You can batch your crops? Yeah, you can batch your crops, and I do this before I even get started. When I'm out shooting, I'll focus and I'll recompose and I'll take the picture. That's usually how I like to take a picture, but during wedding receptions or sports photography, or if you're out doing nature photography, photographing animals, you might just leave your focus in the center because you're trying to catch up with fast-moving subjects, things like that. You'll end up with the exact same dead space on the bottom left or right or the top left or right of your frame. When I am focusing, this is generally the area of my focus screen, right? This same dead space shows up in almost all of my images when I focus in the center and I don't recompose. Okay, so if you look at your frame, this space over here, does it really add to the image? Absolutely not. Does the space over here really add to the image? Absolutely not. I like to do either the top left-hand corner, which I always label 1, or I do the top right-hand corner, which I always label 2, around the same. When it comes to the bottom right and left, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I label this 3, and a 3 crop is always up here, and it's usually because I've amputated somebody. So I've amputated this cute little girl. I'm gonna unamputate her and click enter, and then all I have to do, I could do this to 400 images, and I'm gonna show you in the library module just how fast I will go through my images. I basically take a little eyeball and I'd be like, okay, this is probably a 2, this is a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So now I have my 1s, my 2s, my 3s, and my 4s, and I've just sorted them just because it's easier. And on the 1 crop, I will come over here. I will set this crop just one time, always removing the same amount of dead space, same amount of space that you just don't need in your picture. It doesn't add anything. And then I'll select all the ones, I'll click sync, and I will just click crop, synchronize. They're all cropped the exact same way. Same with number 2. Come on over here, and I've got it set, and then done. And I select all the number 2s, and I sync those crops. There you go. Just like that. Quick and dirty. Now, I also will do a little bit of extra tweaking of these. Of course I will. But I just want to initially remove all that dead space so that I'm looking at the image where the subject is a little bit more up close and that the image is about the subject, not about the space over in the corners that I never really intended to focus on anyway, or never really wanted as part of my image anyway. Quick and dirty, right? You just basically, in a few little clicks, have just saved yourself oodles and oodles and oodles of individual seconds clicking that crop tool individually, and now you are gonna crop faster thanks to this Get Crafty hack. That's actually a hack. So now you've just basically, you can do this with 1,000 images at once, and you can automatically crop your images before you get started. Now you may have thought to yourself, but those images are crooked and like I'd still want to do some more adjustment, which brings us to shortcut number 5. We're done, we're almost done. This shortcut number 5 is all about straightening your images lickety-split, lickety-split. You're gonna straighten your images lickety-split. So when it comes to straightening your images, automatically straightening your images is easy. There's 2 really quick and dirty ways you can do this, and I want you to note that I am doing this on a 3 crop, which means I have already cropped this automatically using that sync tool, so it's already cropped, but the horizon line is just not quite where I want it to be. So we are going to come over to transform, and we're going to click auto, and voila, it automatically straightens your images. Here's it off, here's it on. Pretty amazing. The next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna turn this off, and the other way you can do it is click R for crop, and you can do this, right, to move your screen, but there's a better way to be more precise about it, and I can actually come along the horizon line here with this little angle tool, and it will automatically, every single time, make it perfect. Pretty amazing, right? Ta-da! Now your Lightroom has been speeded up thanks to these awesome little tips and tricks. Yeah. Now you have just speeded up all of your your Lightroom processing so you can get back out there and shoot more. And if you're out there shooting something really cool, please hashtag your photos with Get Crafty Photographers on Instagram or social media. We want to see what you took. And please come on over to our Get Crafty Photographers Facebook group. Visit us at getcraftyphotographers.com. And this is a brand new channel, so all of your likes, your subscribes, and all your positive vibes, they really mean a lot to us and they make us happy. So thank you so much. If you have an idea for a future episode or just a comment, you just want to say hello, please leave them in the comments below, and you can see more links in the description below or right over here. Get Crafty Photographers. Over here on Get Crafty Photographers, you will find all those keyboard shortcuts for making your editing faster. Come on over there, there's a lot more information, and we can't wait to see you again. Next time, we're going back out in the field, and we are going to be shooting with our cameras, not with guns. So bye everybody, get crafty!